All right, concerning new developments in the attack on the U.S. consulate in Libya, Fox News has learned that requests for help to save Americans under siege in the CIA annex were denied 3 separate times by the CIA chain of command. Former Navy SEAL Tyrone Woods was part of a small team who was at that annex about a mile from the consulate. When he and others heard shots fired, they requested permission to go help out those who were there, and they were told, "Stand down." Woods ignored those orders and went to save lives instead. He lost his own that day. Megyn Kelly spoke with his father earlier this afternoon.
This is not about politics. This is about, if it were about politics, it would dishonor my son's death. This has to do with honor, integrity, and justice. This is all a pack of lies. And that's one thing, as a father whose son was killed, I do not appreciate lies. They denied his pleas for help. My son violated his orders in order to protect the lives of at least 30 people. He risked his life to be a hero. I wish that the leadership in the White House had that same level of moral courage and heroism that my son displayed with his life.
So the words of a grieving father there, Mr. Woods. The news today, Greg, I would call it heartbreaking, infuriating, and also very confusing when you look at the statements since September 11th from the various different parts of the administration, including the president himself, that they must realize that they did not say what the president said they did, which is reveal information as they got it.
It makes you wonder. I mean, why did they abandon Americans in harm's way? Is this really about an election? It freaks me out. I mean, the one thing that gets me is, imagine a loved one is murdered and they console you by saying, "Don't worry, we're going to get the filmmaker that might have ticked off your murderer." This administration is becoming the world's largest clown car with this many jackasses. They could run tours of the Grand Canyon. And I want to thank Dana for making me this T-shirt. I know, Bob, you'll love it.
Because you have been the one, this is the question you've been asking from the beginning.
Yes, there you go.
Who pushed the video?
Who pushed the video? Come on, that's the question.
To the gym, Greg?
I go to wear the gym. No one would know what I was. Why?
They'd think it was like a Kim Kardashian video.
Exactly.
Well, if you watched us, and actually a lot of other news outlets have finally been kind of forced to the table, but I think that they seek justice as well, Eric. When you saw this news today, what did you think is the next shoe to drop after this then?
I can't imagine, but we actually have reported very close to what we found out today to be true, that there was an annex. Bob, I remember telling you there's an annex a mile away. They could have sent someone in. Apparently they did. They were told to stand down, though, from that annex. Woods was. Doherty came from Tripoli, which is about an hour away. We had 2 warships in the area, which could have had people here in an hour. There were plenty of opportunities to save at least Woods and Doherty, who died 4 hours after Stevens and Smith. So a lot of questions. I want to know if it stopped at Panetta. I want to know if Leon Panetta was the one who said, "Stand down," told the CIA. Well, Bob, I understand that, Bob, but also Leon Panetta said he had the opportunity to send assets, but he chose not to because it violated the 24-hour rule, whatever 24-hour rule he has.
And what Leon Panetta was also saying is that there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on, which is why we have news media in our country, because you seek out information and find out. Bob, the one thing that's strange, and you were at the State Department and you were in the White House, when something like this is unfolding, you would know about it within a few minutes within the White House. This is an hours-long situation, and still they don't send help even after all that time.
The idea that first of all, Petraeus is the head of the CIA, who was the commander in Iraq and in Afghanistan.
And your point is?
The idea that somehow Petraeus would leave his men unprotected is absolutely ridiculous. Anybody who says, "I want to know who these intelligence sources are on the ground," number one.
So you're questioning this report?
Absolutely. I think it's absolutely dead wrong. I cannot believe, after the military said, the commander of the military in that area said that they sent assets from Tripoli, from...
Tripoli.
Yeah, from Tripoli, right. And that somehow or another, somebody made the decision that they're not going to send assets to help save American lives is absolutely unbelievably a charge that deserves that's high.
Okay.
Don't call it treason, Bob.
Be careful,
let's take a look,
because if you do find out that that's it, are you saying
Well,
Whomever
remember,
is treasonous.
those on
No,
the
I'm
left-
saying that I don't believe these sources.
Okay, so Andrea, if you could comment on this. In the last 6 weeks, one of the things that the left has said was it was the video, and anyone who says differently is is wrong and being unpatriotic. But then you find out that they actually did know. That was the emails that were released that were coming from the consulate in Benghazi to the White House and the State Department.
And the video, I think they knew, and I think the more that we learn, we know this was a institutional failure at the highest level. So they needed an excuse to cover it up. So let's go with the video. My question is this. Panetta comes out and he goes, I didn't know. I didn't have an intelligence assessment. Did he really need, I mean, to quote Bob Dylan, you don't have to be a weatherman to know which way the wind's blowing. Did he really need an intelligence assessment to know that a post-Gaddafi Libya was dangerous? This is the same area again, same consulate that was attacked twice, hole blown through it 30 days before. The British embassy was attacked. The Red Cross was attacked in May. The British embassy closed. Why did this administration, mainly Barack Obama, who had to know that our consulate, our U.S. ground was attacked twice. Why was that not secured on September 11th?
Are you suggesting
that is the question. And he was asked that question by Kerry Lodka at Hofstra, Bob, and he ignored it.
Are you suggesting that Barack Obama would let Americans die in Benghazi?
Well, if he knows they're getting attacked, let me ask you that. If he knows they're getting attacked, don't you think the first 4 phone calls should be the DOD, the Secretary of State, the Director of Intelligence,
and the CIA?
And the CIA?
That's right. And,
so why didn't that happen?
Because my assumption is that, number one...
Incompetence.
I don't know.
It's the most incompetent
we're basing this on 2 people on the ground who we don't know who they are.
So the New York Times can run an anonymous source without a second backup, but you're going to question 2 CIA, 2 sources who were on the ground?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
the journalism school I went to, that wasn't the case. Coming up.
Wait, I want to make a point, though. I don't think, Obama would do something like that. But where is he now? That's the question.
At MTV.
Yeah, he's at MTV. He should be speaking to America. He doesn't have feet of clay. Clay has feet of Obama. I mean, he blows his horn on bin Laden, and he blows up Benghazi.
Coming up. The Obama